Well, hello there and welcome to the channel. My name is Steve Lemon, and in today's video we are going to be talking about how to take two different camera angles like you're seeing now. This is camera 1 and this is camera 2, and we are going to sync those two different camera sources with a third audio source. Why would you ever do this? Well, let's say for example that you have this camera that has a nice shotgun mic on it. The audio that you're hearing right now is from this camera with a nice condensing shotgun mic. It's not the best mic, but it's a pretty good one. Now let's turn to this other camera right here and let's use the audio source from this camera right. This audio, and this audio. Well, what happens sometimes is maybe you have two cameras, but both of them have onboard microphones that are horrible. And maybe you don't have a way to connect a microphone all the way to one or either of those cameras because your talent is too far away from the camera. What you can use is a third source, which is this Zoom H1. Let me try and get that in focus for you. That is the Zoom H1, so it's a handy recorder. And then I'm using a powered to wise microphone right here that you're looking at. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna capture audio on this audio source, and then I'm gonna merge it with these two cameras. Now, there's two different ways inside of Adobe Premiere Pro to use this. One is merging clips. So merge clips would be a single video source like this and a separate audio source. The other one is Multicam. I've talked a little bit recently about Multicam, but Multicam allows you to have multiple different cameras and multiple different camera angles and sync them together. Now, here is an important thing to note. Every one of your cameras has to be capturing audio for this to work. The way that it works is inside of Adobe, it looks at the waveform. So the peaks and valleys inside of your audio waveform is how the software matches up all the video clips and audio clips. So what we're gonna do right now is we are gonna test this whole process by recording a sample, and then we'll get into Adobe Premiere Pro and see how it works. All right, so this is gonna be fun. So here I am in Adobe, here I am at the desk. I'm gonna tell that guy at the desk exactly how to do this, and you guys can follow along. I'll do what he says. All right, so step 1, Steve, is you need to make sure you're rolling on camera 1, camera 2, and the audio. Okay, hang on, let me check. Camera 1, check. Camera 2, check. Audio, check. I'm rolling on all three. All right, so Steve, what I need you to do is clap 3 times. And the reason that he's gonna do this, guys, is because inside the software here, Adobe needs something to look at in the waveforms. That's why it's critical that all the cameras are collecting audio while they're recording. So it's gonna look for that peak in the first wave. So it's gonna look for a spike and then align all of the audio and video on that spike. So Steve, go ahead and clap 3 times. You got it. One thing I'm gonna add though, Steve, it's important to clap, if you can, on camera in all of the cameras. The reason why that is, sometimes the software isn't the best at combining these things and aligning them up, and you might be a millisecond off or so. By having that visual of when my hands come together on both cameras, you're going to be able to tell exactly where that snap should be. So here we go. All right, there's our alignment point. So now we're going to go ahead and pull all these into Adobe. So Steve, go ahead and pull them in. You got it, buddy. So if you look over here now, you'll see that Steve has camera 1, camera 2, and audio. Now, it's important to name them that way so that you know exactly what you're looking at. So Steve, do me a favor and marquee select all those. You can do that by either clicking and dragging and selecting all 3, or you can shift and click all those. You got it, Steve. Here we go. Okay, now that Steve has selected all those, I'm gonna have him right click on it and choose Create Multicam Sequence. This is where the magic is gonna happen. Now, a couple quick things. Before he goes in there, there's a few settings in there you need to look at. Now, you can either match up the audio by the beginning of the clip, the end of the clip, the markers in the clip, which is very cool, or by audio. For this example, we'll do audio. You can play with those other ones later. Steve, go ahead and right-click and do Multicam Segment. You got it, buddy. Multicam Segment, here we go. And just like that, you see that funny little file over there? That file is going to allow us to create a multicam segment. So Steve, go ahead and drag that over here, and then we can open up that sequence and show them what it looks like. You got it, man. All right, here we are. We're in here, and I'm gonna have Steve open up the sequence to show you what it looks like. All right, I'm gonna open it. All right, so what you're looking at below as this is playing is that you'll see all the different waveforms. Now, if I were to clap my hands like this, you'd see that all the waveforms had a spike in it. They're all matched up. This prevents us from seeing things like Gaia-san, right? Prevents all that weirdness. So we're gonna go ahead and go back to the multicam segment, and then I'll show you how we can edit it there. You got it, Steve. Back to the multicam. All right, now that we're back in the multicam segment, I'm gonna have Steve go right below here, and I'm gonna have him click on the Multicam Editor. Now, if you don't see this, you can click the little plus sign down here, and then open up your options and drag and drop that in there. He'll show you what I mean. So here it is, that little icon down there. And what you do is you open that up, and if you look now, I'm inside this one box, and you'll see right next to me are the two different camera angles. Now, those camera angles are assigned the number 1 and number 2 on your keyboard. So all we have to do is hit play, and then select 1 and 2, so that you can do something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. That's it. All of that is just stored data now. Once Steve hits pause, now you'll see below there that all those lines have been put in. Pretty cool, huh? Now you can also do this in what's called a merge clip. So that's a little bit like this, but it's really used for this scenario. This audio on this camera, it sucks. Here, check it out. Now we're using the audio from the T3i. Not very good. It's a T3i, you say. Well, really, all camera audio microphones, pretty much all of them suck. So that's why we use external audio sources like microphones, so that it sounds better. So if I wanted to use that camera and this microphone, then I would just merge those two clips together instead of the multicam like we've been dealing with. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this audio source and this audio source, and we're going to match the two up and have a single merged clip. Works kind of the same way. So for this example, if you look over in the project media bin, Steve's already imported camera 3 and audio 2. So that way we know it's the third camera and audio 2. Steve's going to select those two, right click on it, and choose merge clip. So go ahead and do that, Steve. Okay, now that Steve has merged those clips, I'm going to have him drag that merge clip into the sequence here. So go ahead and drag that in. All right, so now this is the only camera angle that we have, and you're gonna notice that it sounds really good. And down below, you'll see the audio from the Zoom, and you'll see the audio from the Canon T3i. And then you're gonna hear the audio from either one of those if I mute the tracks or solo the tracks. And again, the point is we want good audio and good video. Okay, that is it for today. Do me a favor and give me a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't, and comment below. As always, you are welcome to do that. And also hit the subscribe button. Seriously, if you're here watching it, hit the subscribe button. And hit the bell so you get notified. You know how these algorithms work. They're a little funny. The bell will notify you when new videos come up. Okay.